That's it. That's it. Honestly, 2020, worst year yet. Worst year ever, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. That's obviously massive overinflation of the facts. Look, at the end of the day, we're living in a time where people have nothing to actually worry about. Yes, we currently have a virus going on, a pandemic, and yes, that is tragic. But we're literally at peak first world problems right now. Progressive nerd culture outlets and tabletop creators claim the depiction of orcs are apparently problematic and racist. Yes, that's apparently where we're at now. Fictional beings are racist, apparently. Fuck me. What? Why? Again, this is legit first world problems. You got nothing to complain about, therefore we're doing this. We're doing this. Oh, honestly, like this paired with The Last of Us leaks, 2020 best year yet. Best year yet. Look, at the end of the day, I can't understand the mental gym. Can you please go to the Olympics? The mental gymnastics you're doing are insane. You'll win first place because this is first prize level fuckery right here. So orcs, the monstrous fictional fantasy race, are once again under attack by, and we use this term lightly, nerd culture. They're not nerds. The people that hate this are not nerds. These are just leftist. It's not even left, right? Because there's nothing wrong with being leftist in specific. We're talking like fundamentalist left, right? Just utter. I don't know. What can you call these things? Leave them down below. But this is not nerd culture, ladies and gents. We really need to stop addressing it as nerd culture. Because it's not nerd culture. This is not nerd culture by any stretch of the imagination. These are just... Anyway. So apparently they are unable to separate fiction from reality for failing to conform to very specific standards of progressive politics. Yeah. The incredibly progressive politics of if you don't accept this, then you are... like a bigot, therefore we hate you. Oh, so accepting. On April 25th, Arms of the Tide podcast host, don't even know what that is, don't care, but Quinn Welsh Wilson asserted their disgust and shock at the in-game description of role-playing as an orc found in the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons, claiming that the language used was blatant racism. Of an orc, ladies and gents. That's right, yep. Orcs. Orcs matter. Also, this individual does have they, them in their bio. That will tell you everything that you need to know about this individual completely. Yeah, they, them. And there you go. Nothing else needs to be said. But anyway, CW, blatant racism. I'm in genuine awe that this came out for this edition of D&D. Holy shit. Oh, like you've ever played D&D. Piss off. You probably have appropriated D&D for your, I don't know, progressive... I don't even know. Anyway, most orcs have been indoctrinated into a life of destruction and slaughter. But unlike creatures who by their very nature are evil, such as... I can't even read that. Gnolls, I think. It's possible that an orc, if raised outside of its culture, could develop a limited capacity for empathy, love, and compassion, no matter how domesticated an orc might seem. Its blood just flows, yeah, anyway. Whatever. Basically, they think that this is problematic and racist. It's about an orc. You know? It's about an orc. Like, they're not humans, but you're going to project onto it. Which actually, I mean, it says more about you, Quinn. They, them, my dude. Says more about you, mate, my dude. That actually, that's what you think of people. Because no one is reading that and going, orcs, yeah, they're just talking about black people. Of course they are. Of course they are. Yeah, why not? No one is saying that. But you. And obviously the other people we're going to get to. So that's more your internalization. You're projecting onto it, buddy. No one else is. Anyway, the role-playing an orc section describes how orcs are indoctrinated, and all this kind of stuff. They have limited capacity for empathy, love, and compassion. There's not really much else to get into there, really. But then there are some other bits and pieces, right? So Welsh Wilson has also went on and said some other nonsense crap. He's genuinely just he's hot on orcs. He really is, because he also recently received a wave of backlash from fantasy fans who argued that not only are orcs first conceptualized by J.R.R. Tolkien in his famous Lord of the Rings series a fictional race and are not based on real-world minorities, and ironically orcs, as they originated in Tolkien, were tortured elves. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. That's how they were created. They were tortured elves. They were an offshoot race because of elves, basically, tortured and become evil and things like that. And somehow that created a new race. But yeah, how does that create this, you idiot? What are you talking about? Anyway, obviously it says not based on real world minorities, but that Welsh Wilson's assertion was itself racist for assuming that these descriptors were being used in reference to non-white races, which it is. That is Welsh Wilson's issue. His issue. His issue. No, it really is. That really is. Orcs aren't human. In some settings, depending on their origins, they may genuinely not have complex personhood. Tolkien's Uruk-hai walked and talked, but they were still made out of mud and only wanted to destroy. This isn't racism. Exactly. Are Tolkien orcs racist? He explicitly based them off the stereotype of the Mongol horde, but not actual Mongolians. So what's the problem? He told his son, fighting the Axes, that there's orcs on both sides of the war, including the Allies building atom bombs. Yeah, there you go. So what's wrong with it? Tolkien's orc is an agent of war. Yep, there you go. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. The whole orcs resemble black people argument just tells me that people that think murderous, crude monsters represent black people already think black people are like that and are outing their own racist beliefs. Yeah, exactly. And when I call this stuff out, and inevitably when many other people call this stuff out, we'll be the ones labelled racist, but we're not the ones saying it. I'm defending people like this. This is disgusting behaviour. Got excited when I saw orcs were trending. As a lifelong, from my early teens, fan of orcs, and general orcoid creatures, never in my life have I, or anyone I know, associated orcs with people of colour. Exactly. Who? Literally, who does that? No one. No one looks at orcs and goes, that's them. Except for this little chapo, the they, them, Quinn. Unreal. How the absolute F do you look at orcs and see black people? How do you equate man-eating monsters to black people? Exactly. You're literally just outing yourself as racist. Unreal. Your own thoughts are just being outed right now. After initially asking their critics to please learn how to read text, just basic media analysis stuff, Welsh Wilson would later explain that their statement was about language. Right. Used by colonisers to justify colonial violence, stating that they were attempting to point out parallels in rhetoric and language in describing orcs to language historically used to dehumanise people and justify colonial violence. But that doesn't... What? So we now have to not use any terminology that's ever been used before in a derogatory fashion? Fuck off. Get real. You're such an idiot. You really are. It's about language used. If it's about language, mate... they're specifically orcs. They're not humans. So there you go. Done. End of. No more. No more. It is the structure and rhetoric of racism, not a one-to-one portrayal of a real-world race. You're a fucking idiot. What I did was point out parallels in rhetoric and language in describing orcs, the language historically used to dehumanise people and justify colonial violence. There's a huge difference between that and I think black people and Latinos are orcs. No, mate, you've really just exposed yourself. And I hope this video gets thousands of views so everyone can just go, you are. Yeah, you really are. You're a wrong 'un. However, they were not alone. Oh, goddamn, there's more people, of course. It's coded. Of course it is. It's coded racism. The same language about certain races being inherently savage and being able to be domesticated that was used to justify slavery and the genocide of many indigenous peoples. Oh my god. Of course it is. Pointing out racism isn't the real racism. You unseasoned saltines, and the language of racial otherness and oppression being used to describe non-human fantasy characters as racist isn't an accident. Oh, of course! Orcs aren't human, so it's okay to use dehumanizing, othering racist language to describe them as subhuman. Is the same line that 6Fs used to justify using the same language on real... Oh my god. The mental gymnastics. Mate, please sign up to the Olympics. Orcs aren't human, so it's okay to use dehumanizing... Yeah, they're also fictional, you utter fuck nugget. Oh my god. I'm so effing tired of having to... I've just swear. I don't... Why should I? I should just swear what I want anyway. To spell this out for y'all. Dirty-legged thin lips. What? What? I mean, it's very derogatory, mate. Maybe if your entire personality didn't revolve around being smug and contrary, you'd be capable of more than a surface level understanding of literally anything. You're the one saying we're smug. Did you read your sentence back, buddy? Good lord. If you think it's still okay in 2020 to justify race science, biological determinism, and dehumanizing, degrading language to describe non-human fantasy species, or use racial tension as a plot point, give me a heads up so I can ridicule you before I block you. Mate, come on my channel. Email me. mistagereviews@gmail.com. Email me. We'll have a debate. We'll have a debate about the mental gymnastics you have had to do to achieve this argument that you're at now. Right? And also, just to explain yourself as to what you would expect anyone to do moving forwards to describe anything at all. And hopefully explain how any of the language that you have just used to dehumanize other people that you disagree with, how that's allowed now. Using your own arguments. That'd be fantastic. Anyway. And it just continues. Honestly, it actually continues, right? So, Riot Games writer and editor Dante Douglas disingenuously concluded that anyone who is saying that this discourse is about anything else is obtuse or smokescreening. You're an idiot. You are an idiot. The problem with D&D orc racial classification is not that orcs were necessarily designed to resemble black and or people of colour cultures, but that the ideology of this group of sentient beings is unable to overcome the inherent animal nature of their bloodline. Is the same as in real life racism. No, it's not. What? Oh my god. These progressive people, you really are racist yourself. You really are. So anyone who is saying that this discourse is about anything else is being obtuse or smokescreening, or they're actually racist, which, well, to be expected when tabletop RPG grognard discourse generally... Mate. Again, mental gymnastics. You're the one saying this. People are just saying, no, they're just fictional orcs. I don't see it. But you're the ones that see it. You're the ones that are seeing this. You're the ones saying it. You're the ones projecting. You're the racists. Anyway, this is why I generally encourage people to ignore or hack out, I assume that's back out, hack out any statistical racial designators in fantasy tabletops, because IBR, most of the time, it's this shit again. You're ridiculous. Anyway, I cannot... Oh, also, hilariously, they, them, that dude's Twitter account is now set to private. Oh dear, honestly, this is just ridiculous. Ah, it's a travesty. Ah, please let me know your thoughts on this down below. 2020, ladies and gents, the year that no orc is safe. the year when progressives expose themselves as actual racists. Unbelievable. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.